Good morning and welcome. I'm Rick Gentry, the CEO of the San Diego Housing Commission, and welcome to what is a very special moment for the Commission. Today, we are celebrating a fresh start in the life of the historic Hotel Churchill, right behind me here, which had been more than 5 years in the making. The renovation of this 102-year-old fixture in the San Diego downtown skyline is a fitting symbol for the 72 residents who live there. These are formerly homeless San Diegans. Now they have a roof over their heads and the opportunity for a fresh start to get back on their feet.
I have a great honor of introducing a resident of the Hotel Churchill, and his name is Luis Milon. He's a Navy veteran who now lives at the Hotel Churchill, and he's featured in your program. He served as an electronic warfare technician on the submarines during much of his nearly 18 years in the United States Navy. And after he was honorably discharged, Luis worked as a Navy contractor. However, he lost his job in 2008, about the time that the economy crashed, and he soon thereafter became homeless. Today, here at the Hotel Churchill, he has the privacy he needs to study so that he can get back into the field that he's so very passionate about, and that's advanced electronics. Thank God that you are. I couldn't tell you anything about that, but I'm glad that you're there doing that. And with the help of the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, San Diego healthcare system, he has the help he needs to put his life back on track. Luis, I'm so grateful you'd share your story. I think many of us who care deeply about this issue need to put a face on exactly who we're talking about. Too often people's ideas run to negative places, but who often we are talking about are kids who've aged out of foster care, folks who've repaid their debt to society and now deserve a second chance. And as I mentioned, too many of them have served in our nation's military. Luis is one of them. Would you please give a warm San Diego welcome to our Navy veteran and resident of the Hotel Churchill, Luis Milon.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's a real honor to be here among all these esteemed guests. Tough act to follow. I was in the Navy, as Rep. Gloria said. Served in the Navy for 18 years as an electronic warfare technician. Got out in '98. Was jobless for about a year, but then I got lucky and found a job. 2008, like I said, they decided I was working here at Spaywar, and they decided to let 10 people go, and I was one of them. Unemployment kept me afloat for a little while, but after that ran out, things just got worse, and I found myself on the streets, mostly in La Mesa and Lemon Grove, just carrying what I had with me, didn't know what to do. Luckily, through the Veteran Services, here at La Jolla, SSVF, I was lucky enough to find the Hotel Churchill here, which provides me with a place to stay. I don't have to worry about being chased off by police or being attacked by anybody, so I really feel safe there. I have my privacy that I need. I can cook my own food, which makes me happy. And I really enjoyed here, and I just want to thank everybody here that's been involved, and this is just a great place for me, and I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the rest of the 56 vets here also appreciate it, and I would like to thank each and every one of you.
Thank you,
If I would just shake your hand.
Thank you, my
I
friend.
appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well said, Luis. Great work.
Thank you.
There but for the grace of God go I, right? This issue is all of us. Let's solve it. We can do it. Luis, thank you for sharing your story. I'm going to betray a little confidence he gave me. He wasn't looking forward to public speaking, but your personal story is so very powerful, and it'll help folks like all of us do more for more folks like you. So thank you for sharing your story.
This is affordable housing, but with an emphasis on quality, strong quality. And this will provide a home to 56 veterans in need. They served our country, they protected our freedoms, but later, of course, due to a variety of circumstances, found themselves homeless and on the streets. And we're working hard, all of us here in San Diego, to help our veterans in need, particularly our homeless veterans. And so early this year, we launched our Housing Our Heroes campaign, a call to action to help 1,000 veterans, to transition 1,000 veterans off the street. And the good news is that we are a third of our way to our goal. We've already secured housing for more than 320 veterans, and the list is growing every week. Included in that total are the 56 veterans that are going to be right across the street here that are already in or about to move in to the Hotel Churchill. Let me tell you just a little bit about what they are going to be here. Their average age is 58. 1/3 of them have a disability, and their average annual income is less than $10,000. These vulnerable San Diegans now have the opportunity to help turn their lives around at Hotel Churchill. And this is what this is all about. All of us working together to give that helping hand. And the preservation of this landmark, I think, is an example of what we will continue to do to address not just veteran homelessness, but homelessness across the city.
The San Diego Housing Commission and its partners' commitment to house our homeless is evident in the completion of the renovations of this beautiful landmark building. The rehabilitation of the Hotel Churchill is a breakthrough in San Diego's effort to help address and combat homelessness.
More than 236,000 vets call San Diego home, but we know that far too many of our nation's heroes struggle to find a stable place to live after they leave the service. So despite these challenges, San Diego takes pride in finding solutions, and this Hotel Churchill is a great example of what we can achieve when we all work together. So thanks to Rick Gentry, the San Diego Housing Commission, the mayor, and the many partners up here, the City Council, have joined in the efforts. We've made progress in reducing the number of homeless vets. And with this new renovation, the Churchill will be able to help even more veterans, families, and homeless in San Diego. For the first time here, the VA San Diego healthcare system will be able to provide on-site services to homeless veterans who are not part of the VA supportive housing program. They've dedicated a full-time clinical social worker to provide services including medical care, behavioral health services, and daily living skills.
There is another group of residents that here at the hotel that means personally a lot to me, and that is former foster youth. As a former foster youth myself, I've been very active for many years with nonprofits that help foster youth. But here at the city, I have an opportunity to be proactive in different ways, in advocating for housing and services. And Rick knows I'm a broken record wherever he is on that. And the reason it's so important, think about some of the statistics. San Diego County, about 300 foster youth will emancipate in 1 year from the foster care system. Most of them with no support, no plan in place so that they have a nice, healthy future. About half, I mean, this is crazy, about half of former foster youth will be homeless in just the first 2 years after leaving foster care. About half of them don't have a job. This is why it's so important that the Hotel Churchill is setting aside, in this case, 8 units, and that will help some of the most at-risk youth that need services. My brother, sister, and I were all in different foster homes, and we all aged out. I was the first one, and my sister, who was the youngest, had mental health issues, and she really struggled. And so a place like this could have given her, like it will the youth that'll be here, a place to call their own, a place to get on their feet, a place where they can get services for the mental health needs that they have, an opportunity to have some stability, to get a job, and just to have that support is so critical in order to succeed in life.
Let's face it, veterans and foster youth aging out of the system face special challenges in finding housing, especially in today's housing market. By providing veterans and foster youth with access to affordable, safe housing, closer to services, close to transportation. We will give them a fighting chance to succeed and hopefully to thrive. This hotel that has fallen into disrepair, it will now provide a new lease on life for those looking to change their lives. But it's not just housing we're providing. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is providing supportive services for the 56 San Diego veterans living at Hotel Churchill, and the County of San Diego will be stepping in and providing $1.8 million in funding to help rehab this hotel and also provide those wraparound services that were just mentioned. The Hotel Churchill is an example of, again, what we can accomplish when all of us, the county, the city, the federal government, and nonprofit agencies work together.
You know, my district for the Los Angeles office actually isn't just Los Angeles. It actually is from Santa Barbara County all the way to Calexico. So that's about 47 housing agencies. And you can imagine what we have. Essentially, Southern California is known nationally as the epicenter for many of the issues that the Hotel Churchill will address. And I'm often asked by your colleagues in the House, what can we do to solve homelessness? What can HUD do? And I can tell you that I can always point to agencies like the San Diego Housing Commission that use their moving to work status to devise locally based solutions to problems that are affecting cities across the country. And in fact, in March, when I got to tour the Hotel Churchill, there was a policy analyst from HUD who came all the way from Washington, D.C., just to ask that same question. What is it that San Diego is doing to address homelessness, and can we replicate that across the country? And as director for the Los Angeles office, you know, I was very proud to be that bridge builder to show this is what can happen when you give a housing authority the funding, the flexibility, and the awesome staff that Rick has to put together projects like Hotel Churchill. I wish we could replicate this all throughout the district, and maybe there's something in it, Rick, that we can, you know, take on the road so we can show other communities. And I also just want to say that, you know, Mr. Luis, your story, although you were very intimidated to come up here, these are the kinds of stories that help me in my daily work to keep pushing for solutions, to roll up my sleeves and to talk to the staff and say, okay, we know that we have these federal rules, we have these federal guidelines. What can we do within those parameters to make solutions happen in our community? And that's the kind of partnership that I'm very proud to engage in with this agency.
And Luis, your story is moving, it is inspiring, and it helps us, and me particularly, to know that when we come to work, we can make a difference. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Civic San Diego Board of Directors and our very capable team, we want to express the fact that we are very proud to be partners with the San Diego Housing Commission to bring about the rebirth of the Hotel Churchill. To my dear friend Rick Gentry and his amazing team, thank you for your vision and your tenacity to bring about this project.
As a member of the San Diego Housing Commission Board, I'm extremely proud of our efforts, as demonstrated here, to provide quality housing to the varied populations that are homeless in our city. Not just veterans, but aged out foster children and others who are recently released from confinement. This building, the Churchill, serves two populations to which I feel extremely close. When I had a young family, I was a foster parent. And the rewards that you get from serving that in that capacity are immense. And as you just heard, I'm a military veteran with more than 35 years of active and reserve military service. So I'm also especially committed to helping my fellow veterans who are struggling with homelessness. As the chairman of the San Diego Housing Commission Board, I commend every organization that partnered with the commission to renovate the Hotel Churchill. Our partners include two organizations that awarded grants to allow the Hotel Churchill to become even better. The first is the Home Depot Foundation's Veteran Housing Grants Program. Go ahead and step up here. This gentleman represents Home Depot, and Home Depot awarded, and this is not a check going to him, it's just commemorating what they did. They awarded $400,000 from their foundation. And that has gone straight into construction and furnishings for the Hotel Churchill. And all I can do is just say thank you very, very much. You're welcome. Okay. This grants program that the Home Depot has created was created to improve the homes and lives of U.S. military veterans and their families all across the country. But for us to receive $400,000 just here is just immense. Since 2011, just telling you a little bit more about your story, the foundation has invested more than $105 million nationwide to support the housing needs of veterans. Again, let's thank them. Also, in terms of helping to provide furnishings for the residents who have moved in and are moving in to the Hotel Churchill, a local organization, Los Patronos, awarded a grant of almost $20,000 to help furnish these studios. In closing, I'm going to say this. In a country and city as great as ours, no one deserves to be homeless. But as a veteran, I believe that every vet, whether they served in combat or not, deserves a place to call home. They were there for us. The Hotel Churchill is now there for them. Thank you.